Uh, all right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another XAFer Community Stand-Up. Really excited from today's event. Uh, we are refreshed from 2025. We have a really good new year, busy, but that's a good thing to have. And we are going over about XAF in 2026. What's new, what's coming, and all the new features that came with 25.2 and what is in the future for 26.1 and so on. Jose, before I start here, I was looking, just browsing our events. Look at this. This is just beautiful. Like we like I enjoy seeing like so many events that we have and so many good discussion on how SAF has evolved. And now with the removal of net framework, where are we going? What is the future? What do should we focus on? The cross platform ability of the new wizard, of the new template. And I don't know, I think the future is like, who will tell me that I will be doing a lot of coding in Mac and doing it right now? So I'm excited about everything that we are going through. As always, please join our Facebook group. We're almost 4,000 members. I always have my support tickets open. That's my daily reading, just to see what's going on, what people are testing, what are experimenting. Uh, the idea for us today was to start with what's new on 25.2 and then what's coming from uh, everything else on the roadmap. Today, as I was telling Jose and Dennis, I'm not gonna go. And like our plan today was going over the roadmap, going about what's new, showing a few demos, but I want Dennis to actually present what's coming and the DevExpress point of view and what the migration path from net framework, security system, all modules, and also I saw you guys I know you all guys saw the new post about having the model editor in web. So everyone, I have got message from the team. I have message for everyone. So that's a big discussion here. And of course, follow the DevExpress blog. A lot of good things happening in AI. I want to give a shout out to Alexander, a project manager from DevExpress, who did this awesome AI script orchestration about basically doing scripts on AI. He even have a nice demo here and it's just beautiful. Like again, right now, I know also the Dennis shared some screenshots and a quick video on Facebook about adding the chat beside the grid, adding semantic search, adding a smart page. I think the future is brilliant, but I'm really excited about all of those possibilities that really enhance the value and the functionality that we provide to our clients, that we provide to our students about how to take a line of business application, make it better. And DevExpress goal, or basically the idea of removing net framework, one of the main things is make it more scalable. So I'm also really looking forward to that. And if you go to these demos, it's really nice because they have already here some pre-written instructions, and you can actually show a chart of the 5 performer sales from the year of the employee. And it was really nice. And we have been working on our own, also experimenting on all of this about doing reports generation, dashboard generation by itself. So these are possibilities that with natural language, your users are going to be able to start talking with your data and having real insights and real data that can be the base for business decision. So the future is really bright. Let's give it a second so we show the chart, and then I will pass completely the screen to Dennis so he can go over everything that is coming in the near future.
Yeah, thank you very much for showcasing this particular page. It's made by Alexander Ruskov. It's a good friend of mine. He's also a product manager at DevExpress. We work together a lot, and I also want to promote him. Like you may remember that he wrote a book, like a real book, and published it, a book about .NET MAUI last year. So. He's also very much into AI, like who is not. And yeah, I definitely recommend checking it out. And at the end, I will also try to and post to a chat a link to his YouTube channel where you can learn more about his stuff. It's really good.
Yeah, I will post the link also on the chat from his book, from his channel, and from this demo. It's taking a little bit now. I think that this is a free Azure like service, and before the meetup and yesterday, I actually play a lot with it. I don't know if I was one of the contributors that is being slow right now but basically take a look. It will create charts from you. It will actually, for example, set the position of the employees to intern. It will change your data and you have the whole, it's an open source project. You can check the code and it's a beautiful tool to have. So we're building things on top of it. So it's just nice. All right. You say it's basically timeout, but that's because this isn't a free service. All right. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to pass the screen to Dennis and we'll go from there. I will also be looking for the link for their video, for the book and the YouTube. So everyone have it.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Dennis. I'm a product manager at DevExpress, and today we will talk, I think, a lot about XAF and about some general things happening at DevExpress because I'm also working on them a lot, I would say. Let me share my screen quickly, and we'll start with what's new in 25.2. It's just general what's new page. Please let me know when you can see anything.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, and just I want to quickly run through enhancements on this part, just to ensure that you don't miss anything important because it all applies to XAF and it's interesting to know anyway. First of all, 25.2 is out. So if you haven't used your .NET installer and you prefer to register your licenses manually, then don't forget to update your license key, which you can download from DevSpace Download Manager. Uh, it's it's here. And here you can find useful links to documentation explaining things in great detail, especially if you are not familiar with this. If you are using .NET installer and have 25.2 licenses, then it's automatic for you, at least for local development. So it's just working. Uh, the next thing is migration to NuGet.org. As you know, we provide a private NuGet feed, nuget.devexpress.com, and starting with 25.1 NuGet packages, we have just duplicated them on nuget.org. And for example, you can go right now to here, like for any standard package like system tag JSON or whatever, and just download it. And it's the main benefit that it's easier for you to get started with our components because you don't need to set up additional private feeds, don't need additional authentication. So you just download, register your .NET license key, and that's it. So here you can find all the packages, also for XAF and WinForms, Blazor, everything that you had access to with the private NuGet feed. And just know that it's available for 25.1. Previous versions, they will stay, I think, forever on the private feed, and we also hope for future versions like, I don't know, 26.1, point 2, just completely migrate to NuGet.org from donkey.dxpress.com. I mean, for newer packages. Again, old versions will stay, I mean, below 25.1, they will stay here. I think some of you already noticed it because, especially if you're starting with a new machine or configuring CI/CD, because the standard NuGet.org NuGet feed, it's automatically pre-configured in most IDEs, so it's just available, and it's just one step less for you to get started. And as always, we are looking forward to any feedback, how it works for you, maybe some questions. So feel free to contact us in support center, as always. Okay, next, yeah, it's next Visual Studio and next .NET framework support, or .NET Core, .NET 10. I think it's nothing special in here for most DevExpress customers. Maybe it's kind of special for XAF customers because we have abandoned .NET framework support in 25.2, but we will talk about it a bit later. Um, as always, any feedback is welcome because these are new technologies. If you track how Microsoft published updates, they have already published multiple versions of Visual Studio. Each time is different enhancements, bug fixes, sometimes interesting changes. The same for .NET, so it's a live product. It's nice that it's been updated, and yeah, there may be some quirks. So you are welcome to share your experience, especially with regard to JavaScript components in these new environments. Uh, this one, I think it's also kind of interesting for some, at least for some XAF customers, and for quite many non-XAF customers, especially for people who are designing reports. So in 25.2, you can now access Report Designer in Rider IDE from JetBrains. In the first preview version, it's supported only for .NET Framework, but .NET Core support will come in the coming months, so it's on the horizon. It's also a nice integration of WinForms Visual Designer, which was previously available only in Visual Studio, but now the team has done a great job in the last, I think, months. There were a lot of cooperation with JetBrains, and it's a lot of bugs were fixed, usability enhancements. So if you're using Rider and WinForms, and it's definitely something for you to try. And I think global enhancement for all products, not only for reporting or WinForms, it's support of our new template kit in Rider. So you have the same capabilities to quickly get started with our component. Just click, choose some options, and get some predefined template on based on required component set. So it's another value to try this new feature, this Rider ID. Uh, what else? What else I wanted to do? Yeah, I already started to talk about the new template kit. For XAF customers, I also wanted to uh, stop a little bit. I even have my Visual Studio opened and just show that. Let me close this quickly. 1 second. Uh, I don't see where the focus is, but okay, I have some dialog open. Don't want to spend much time on it, but I wanted to show that in 25.2, uh, since XAF only supports .NET Core, you can only create .NET 8 plus projects, obviously. And the old solution wizard with support for .NET Framework is unavailable, and we have a warning about this, and we had it for like the last no how 6 months or so, and yeah, and we also have I found this dialog. Yeah, we also have this node to use the new template kit, and it's you can install the new template kit either from Visual Studio Marketplace, like any other extension, or, and I think it's the preferred approach starting with 25.2. You can just run our installer and it has it automatically. I mean, you don't need to install anything, and you can just go file, new project, and just find this item named DevSpace template kit instead of template gallery. Let me close this now and just show you file new. So it's this item, template kit in the name, and it will launch uh, a new interface, which is generic now for all DevExpress .NET products. And here you can also see XAF, and you can see different options like .NET 8, 9, 10, Explore, EF, whatever, and everything that you had and even more uh, from the previous version. So you can configure different options, uh, and it will just output standard XAF .NET Core solution based on the options. And by the way, this new UI is built using Evonia open source version, just in case you are interested. And it's also cross-platform, so it's already working on Windows, on Mac, and also maybe we'll add Linux support because it just works. And also uh, it's more powerful than the previous wizard, and we will continue to enhance it even further. And if you are building, just want to say a few words more. If you are building non-XF applications, for example, like you want to build companion mobile applications, you go to Maui and you can find options. Options for XF integration. Like here, you can see you can quickly scaffold a web service based on XF security, based on your pre-configured security user role permission table. So, and it will just work nicely. I am focusing a little bit on this just because we sometimes have requests from customers about like when will you support .NET MAUI in XAF, and I am just showing that it's already partially here. It's already integrated together, and you also may have additional integrations with our security system and XAF APIs. Like if you browse WPF WinForms, it's under this, yeah, it's under this section. Like we have integration with XAF security system, I mean middle tier security service for both WPF and WinForms. We also have integration with XAF data web API service, and it's just helpful when you do additional tools or apps integrations just besides your main XAF WinForms or Blazor. Okay, so just so you know. Maybe any questions, comments before I go further?
No question, but definitely this is a really good. Like, again, like I always remember watching myself doing mobile apps with Odara a long time ago and having to do everything like endpoint by endpoint, and right now you have everything at once, and then you are able to connect it right away. So we have been actually working in several mobile apps this year, and I think that that trend will continue in 2026. So just having this out of the box, and I like how also the template kit has the use dev express MCP right there for you, so you can also configure it and check the latest docs and have some guidance for everyone starting. So yeah, everything is looking amazing so far.
Yeah, yeah. I asked the guys just to include this option, I think in November, December, just because it's like kind of standard. But we'll see how it goes, how it evolves. Maybe there will be additional options because you know how fast it's progressing every day. Yeah,
Yeah, but the NCP part is amazing. I've been using that a lot lately because it really reduced the hallucinations by, I don't know, by 90%, to be honest. I try to use it in the prompt, like always say, like use DevExpress MCP. So I go and look for the documentation, and so far so good. I stopped using CodeRush, even if I love it. I mean, I really love that tool. But now it's like natural language, right? Like go onto this, especially if you know the tool. And if it uses the MCP, it's totally fine. Even you remember, I remember that you mentioned last time that you use it for some cases in your own testing and development. So it's a great tool to have with
absolutely.
you.
No, and not only that, Hoche, we that have been in XAF for so long, we sometimes are still used to the old way of doing things. So
Yes.
naturally, what it comes to me is the old way. And then, for example, I don't know, I I'm going to do security, like I don't know, I want to use if I'm doing in a legacy one, I'm doing a security system, the static one. And now, if I do the NCP, it right away, it
Hmm.
goes and checks the latest way of doing everything. So yeah, it's just beautiful.
Yeah, fully agree. I also find myself as a manager, developer, partially also find myself in this Microsoft Copilot thing which for general because it's nicely integrated with our internal environments, GitHub, Microsoft Office environment, and it's just magical. You just need to have not to forget recheck everything because it's making mistakes, obviously, at least at this stage, and just recheck, double check, and but still it's time saver. Yeah. Okay. Finishing on general enhancements in 25.2, I will stop. I think the last one is a preview of our newest localization tool. Currently it's a Windows desktop application for the current first preview. As you can see, you can download it from GitHub by this link, and here you can see some screenshots, and it's our attempt to reconsider how localization is done in general for DevExpress components for any platform, be it XAF, VCL, WinForms, JavaScript, whatever. So it's based on a lot of customer feedback in the latest years. We tried to isolate the most important problems, usability issues, and try to solve them in that new tool. It's still disclaimer still in preview. Not everything is supported yet. Like not no .NET MAUI is support. XAF is partially supported. No VCL for now, but still it's quite functional for at least or it's already on par with what localization.devexpress.com service provides. I mean, it has even more capabilities today. I highly recommend you check getting started documentation, download the tool, try to use it for some tasks in XAF because it's capable of producing, as you can see in the screenshot, it's capable of producing the same satellite assemblies. Now it's also can produce NuGet packages, which is more important for .NET Core applications. And there is also new export type. It's how to say it's merged ResX file, XML, technically XML file with based on all the localizations, all the products, instead of hundreds and hundreds of separate ResX files. So it can be a good alternative to people using satellite assemblies and NuGet packages just because it's a single file instead of like dozens. Yeah, we had a big documentation update in mid-December, so it must be easy to understand how to use it. So I definitely recommend you to stop. And yeah, and AI, and I think now we will proceed to XAF. I especially have not prepared any fancy presentations. I will just go to XAF Facebook group. It's official group. It's just facebook/devexpress.xaf, where our team regularly publish the latest, the greatest news. And let's start with our with our experiments for 2026 because uh, I personally like this time very much. I mean, the time from mid-December to like end of January because you usually produce your second major release. You feel relieved. Now it's holidays, Christmas, New Year. You go on vacation. I personally just returned from a huge trip through Finland, Germany, Holland, Belgium, France, Spain, and some other countries I forgot. And it's just a wonderful time for us all to reflect on the previous year, think what we can do, improve the next year, set some goals, um, have some planning, and for me, we started this process right in December. Uh, Usually, it goes like we accumulate all the information we have from different channels, support center, one of them, emails, a lot of surveys, because you know that we use them a lot for every section in what's new. You can leave your feedback, leave what you say to developers what you think about particular feature. Also have a lot of roadmap surveys, always a lot of emails, in-person talks, which are maybe not visible to everyone, but there, there are many of them for every product, every team, like hundreds and hundreds. We also have some events, a lot of feedback, and you digest it, prioritize, you see how it aligns with your global vision, strategy, and then define some like hot picks. And for XF, I have it in GitHub. I can't unfortunately show it to you. It's internal, but you can trust me. It's large. It's like more than 20 items internal on GitHub, big board for 26.1, 26 even 2 already. And yeah, and it's also exciting like this time because other parties are planning like Microsoft, and it's interesting to know what they're doing, what they're considering, and like a little bit promotion for Microsoft Blazor team. I just attended, I think a couple of days ago, we even participated in Blazor team, Microsoft team's stand-up, where they shared their plans. So if you are if you are following Blazor development, and I think you must do it since you might be using XAF Blazor. It's a lot of interesting stuff happening around, not only about AI, and if you have spare time, I recommend checking it out as well. So we returning to the process. We have like 20, 25 top picks, and we start making like internally we call it spike solution. It's just internal research made by developer in collaboration with product manager, like technical research, how to implement it, what it costs, what the cost looks like, what the risks, what's the scope, and we it's there are many iterations, and eventually for the most promising things, you have some tangible results. And I will start with the first one. Uh, with the first one by opening this screenshot. Let me move this one somewhere here. And what we can see, it's integration of some AI features because AI chat in particular on this right panel, we have in 2025 we have intentionally have not done anything, I mean, out of the box in XAF because for many components, DevSpace components, they are so well designed that you can enable many features yourself, just turning a few, one, two, three options, just copying code from documentation, and it just works. And for some scenarios, it's not that easy, and it requires some additional coding. But we wanted to hear feedback, I mean, from customers. Just what is the most interesting to you? What difficulties you are having when integrated some options you need? So, I mean, just to prioritize our own integrations, because I don't know, we also don't have unlimited resources. We don't want to like making a framework for simple button, it's simple button after all. And yeah, AI chat integration, it's one of the features we are considering based on feedback and just common sense. And because it's like a key entry point for many component integrations like reporting. And here you can see like I think it will. I was still waiting for our design UX designers, but I think we will leave this option as a panel, collapsible panel, because I saw that some customers integrated like pop-up chat, but I think this design like navigation panel is already good enough, and we used it in WinForms, and it will be a part of. I hope it will be a part of our default template in 26.2. And here you can see a Blazor application, and of course, it's also we also hope to deliver it for XAF Inference because nobody is magically stopping writing desktop applications in 2025 and beyond. And part of this, let me close this thing. Part of this is uh, part of this. It's that desktop applications, they are evolving themselves. Here you can see our non-XAF WinForms demo, which we a little bit upgraded in 25.2, starting to replicate modern Microsoft Outlook interfaces. Here you can see, for example, on the left side, you can see a sidebar, a modern sidebar with modern Fluent icons. You also can see updated ribbon UI, updated just general, I mean, general sections like different paddings, rounded corners, general composition. Again, on the right, you can see AI chat, which, uh, which allows you to use to unlock additional features like, I don't know, controlling your grid, reporting, filter control, uh, and doing semantic search. And we also hope to have similar integration in XAF. And I posted the second screenshot from another test Spike solution where you can see, for example, how updated navigation can be integrated in XAF Blazor. Again, Fluent icons everywhere, a little bit different composition, ribbon. In XAF, it's also Tabit UI. So yeah, it's something we are considering to for 2026, and you remember that we already started talking about it in last year. We just have not planned to complete it last year. We just wanted to make some researches and um, just stopped on supporting the merely the new Fluent theme, some icons and ribbon, but a lot of things, exciting things ahead this year. Any questions on this part so far? Maybe some comments, uh, personal experiences.
To be honest, like one of the things that I want to highlight is that this is so cool that you have the chat integrated. We have done so many integrations to put like a. We started with a pop-up, which was the simple case. Then we end up having like a floating action, like in the corner, to show it. But if it's out of the box, it's even better, right? So,
Yeah, no,
uh,
but at the end we modify the template and put it on the left
mhm.
and some other prototype on the right. But again, like as always, we mentioned, we customize the template until DevExpress does something similar to what we want. Then we roll everything back so we stay in the official supported version. So this is amazing, and just to think the amount of things that we're going to be able to do. So is analyze our data, creating report, creating dashboard, asking questions about the data, modifying the data if we need to. So the future will be really brilliant for the end user. So I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, I appreciate your feedback on I mean, your internal experience, how you progressed from one solution to another option. That's why I also we always ask for user feedback for your screenshots in this group in Support Center because just interesting to see what really worked and what did not, and not to repeat mistakes and learn from others. I mean, so again, just to repeat my request, so feel free to contact us in the support center in this group, and it's really helpful. Just like I remember telling to my developers when we made this first ribbon UI integration. Because of course we have to make some default choices like how things should behave, like tabs, tab MDI especially. And I understand that it's the first version. It can be not perfect, even if we look at WinForms, because it's still a different concept. It's web. It's 2025, not 10 years ago. And we also rely not only on us and our UX designers, but also on community. So we appreciate that feedback we are getting. Like today, we discussed this thing about focusing the home tab or changing or not changing this stuff. So we like such discussions, and please, please help us and help yourself eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So couple things quickly before we move on, Dennis. So the first one I also post in the chat our own article about SAF and AI, some experiment that we have been doing. So we need to do a part two because that was from April. So it has been a while. There are a lot of neat things that we will be posting in the near future. And there is also a questions about that Gustavo is mentioning that he wanted to enable the AI extension in the WinForm report designer, but he was not successful. So, Gustavo, just feel free to reach out. We will happy to see this.
I remember his ticket. Actually, it's one of the feedbacks that we looked with the team. I remember that support discussion myself, and it's that's why we are, how to say, I will show it a little bit. It's right here. That's why I wanted to show this. It's also one of the Spike solutions we are working on for the next release, just to ease this integration for customers. And yeah, so this feedback is was definitely helpful. I also remember, just not to forget, I think I will eventually be unable to mention everyone, but I also remember difficulties when with smart paste, because it's kind of complicated feature. Let me find it in my screenshots. But anyway, it was complicated because yeah, he goes. You can see smart paste from our Spike solution. Just yeah, it requires some, some tuning. Like you saw an exception here. You saw that there must be special handling for reference properties, just because they are not standard scalar properties. Here you can see it. Let me show you a little bit and stop. Yeah, it requires some tuning, and we accumulated this feedback and just chose our top 5 picks for candidates for out of the box integration, and SmartPath is one of them, at least in layout control. What's next? Here you can see another feature. It just very easy to do, to have it by default. It's additional AI commands in text editors. It's just natural. Today you can see it in Word and almost in every text editor. What else? Semantic search, like when you want to search for, I don't know, furniture, and it will return like chairs, whatever.
So
And
I want to mention Dennis regarding the report part before we move along. We do have, we'll be doing a video in the like not like I don't want to promise for next week or anything because we have a lot of things, but it's on the queue about taking a screenshot of the report that you want or a mock-up of the report that you want, and we basically let AI decide, okay, you have a report band, you have a group detail, you have a detail band, you have sorting. So from a screenshot, and we're getting promising results. So that's something that even further could be in the future integrated, I believe so. If
yeah,
the
it's
data,
interesting.
if the data is right, of course, the data have to make sense with what you're building. But if the data is right, we're taking a screenshot and there is manual corrections that we end up doing, but it gives us a good head start.
Yeah, definitely feel free to share additional information. Maybe I think it really deserves a dedicated webinar. Yeah, let's continue to exchange. And here, for example, we try to manipulate a report using a chat, like adding controls, removing controls, sorting, filtering. So yeah, it's quite capable. Again, not everything is magic. Sometimes there may be mistakes, like with anything else, with any other tool. But in general, it's something worth exploring anyway. Yeah, I think I demonstrated the main AI integrations we are considering. If you wish, you can again learn more from this public Facebook group, and it's also duplicate. The same news are duplicated in our LinkedIn group. And for AI, I just wanted to speak a little bit about general integration considerations for XAF. I mean, I want it to be a standard XAF module. I mean, drag and drop. I mean, just select it in a wizard in template kit, and it will just automatically generate all required code in your project template. Also, you will just need to specify your own key, and that's it. And until, of course, you can configure required options, disable unnecessary options using this syntaxes in startup.cs file, which is quite primitive. So that's the point, to have it as a module, like reporting, security, and everything else we have in Excel. That's is the plan. Okay, we have already talked about Fluent, continued Fluent UI integration in both XAF Blazor, XAF WinForms. We covered some AI integrations for 2026, and I think now it's time to talk about uh, this experiment. I apologize for not having a live demo. I just had it 15 minutes before the start, but it just broke as it happens. So I will only show a screenshot, but I had plenty of joy testing it myself yesterday, and just heard from our senior Blazor developer who did a great job researching it. And here uh, you can see a Blazor application in the first place. Behind the window, there you can see a familiar tools menu and edit model command, which invokes this window. You can see familiar toolbar and the same familiar tree-like interface with model nodes, model node properties, which you can change. So yeah, and the idea, I like this particular feature myself a lot because it's something that was missing in XF web forms for like a decades, and it was quite useful in WinForms, XF WinForms applications. We started doing the first steps towards this with XF Blazor and its layout designer for detail views. Like a few years ago, we already had column chooser and list view customization, and just it's time to try to fit all different pieces together. And yeah, uh, again, just usual disclaimer, it's just the first Spike solution. It's none of this is planned for like for 2026.1. Nothing is written in stone. Things and priorities may change because again we had a lot of stuff to consider, to prioritize, to see how it's technically feasible. But anyway, I wanted to show it and discuss further. And I especially like this integration by a few strategic reasons. First, having a model editor in Blazor, it's it adds additional value to having hybrid desktop applications based built on Blazor. Like you remember, we talked about Electron integration. We haven't published our project templates last year, but this year we definitely will publish a GitHub example, at least, where you can just select uh, to create an application, technically a desktop application based on Blazor, which will be available on Mac and Windows at the same time. And it's all feasible with the help of our middle tier security server in between. Also, model editor is just a missing piece just uh, from a powerful desktop application. And it's the first reason. Second reason, it's for some people it will help avoid using our Visual Studio model editor because you can just do required customizations at runtime. Like I know quite many people from XAF informs they don't customize layouts or UI in Visual Studio. They do it in their running like production application, then uh, storing settings in database or copying them. So it's another opportunity because Visual Studio is tied to Windows and it's maybe more interesting for like Mac users in the first place. Again, based on this, we can potentially have some rider integration. I mean, like build an extension which will invoke this runtime Blazor model editor just instead of what you have now in Visual Studio. So there are endless capabilities. And the last reason is of course like additional extensibility for customers in the first place. And I mean during uh, after production. I mean in production environment. I mean you don't need to be a developer. I mean you don't need to have like Visual Studio and to build it. You can just delegate some tasks to some administrative power users, and yeah, it's still a question here. It's still a question about licensing because this model editor is, I mean, in essence, it's a tool for developers. So it's deep customization of um, application structure internals. I mean, the guts, and it's pretty technical itself. So it's not for end users, and it can be quite risky. And in general, I mean, it's kind of developer experience, and it's also must be properly licensed. Yeah, but we'll talk about it later. As always, in the first place, we hope to make a good product. I mean, that solves at least uh, the most popular tasks, problems, and yeah, it's big journey, because of natural complexity of application model, of what you can do with it, its runtime dynamic nature. So again, a disclaimer, just a Spike solution, none is planned for 26.1, and I'm just showing you our early experiments. Yeah. So don't make any business decisions on this, as always, we say in our roadmaps. Uh, any
Anyway,
comments on?
it's an amazing thing coming on. this is the first step that like we are Visual Studio fans, so I code Visual Studio for a long time, but I think in the future it will be like this is the first step to have it on Mac, to have it on Rider, to have it everywhere, the model editor, and just to have any environment, Linux, Macs, Windows, and being able to code away. So if you look, then it's just post this, I think that 6 hours ago, and everyone on the team was sending us message. Every client send us an email. Like I have like after you post this, like 5 emails saying please record the meetup today. And I'm sure that is for this specific screenshot. So uh, I'm definitely excited about what's coming.
Uh, yeah, we we like to see customer feedback. Yeah, we also appreciate feedbacks. The last post about AI, some minor AI enhancements. Yeah, this one. Yeah, I think it's already 20 people, and I would say, yeah, in general, as I always say. Um, we, at least an XAF team and in DevExpress, we aim to build solutions that cover hundreds and thousands of customers, and we have to look for the whole picture. And I mean, this like 20 or 30 or 40 feedbacks, it's just, the tip of the iceberg, it's a lot of things happening in support center and different channels, and we have to consider them all. And it just, I'm saying, it just explaining that there are still a lot of unknowns, a lot of moving pieces, and just to apologize in advance in front of customers who are asking, like, why are not you doing the feature I requested it 2025, and then what about this in 2026? And uh, it's a lot. Our team has limited resources. We see a lot of exciting opportunities, and it's always like kind of a pain to prioritize, and it must be normally if you are doing right things. So yeah, we'll see how it works, how it develops. But thank you for at least initial feedbacks. Again, we value even more. We value screenshots from your real applications, like what you posted in the past, and now also real experiences, like I did X, Y, Z. It worked, and like good, bad, and case studies, of course. Yeah, it's. I mean, actionable stuff. Yeah, it's our bread and butter.
Yeah, prioritizing is hard, but definitely this is a really good first step. So we're really excited about it.
hmm Okay. If you have no questions, I will go to the next item. Um, yeah, let me close some things, not to get confused. Again, I think many people want me to click here on the plans for 2026, but yeah. Okay. Next, since we talked about prioritization, about focus, uh, for us, for XAF team, generally nothing has changed much from the last 6 months. And here I'm showing you my last roadmap post for 2025.2 and beyond. And here we're talking about scalability, except Blazor scalability enhancements, performance enhancements, why we are removing .NET Framework, what we plan to do with it, uh, why, and yeah. So I hope that that this topic, I mean, the web scalability will continue to be a major point of our investments in 2026, and it's already is starting from the last year. We can't yet present some tangible results because they are mostly internal. I believe I talked about briefly about what we did, why some internal tests, and now it's time to, when we accumulated all the diagnostic information, just time to get it done. I mean, to implement it. And there are, of course, technical challenges, but we still optimistic. We are working on it. Just need focus. That's also why we can kind of say can and we must say no to some feature requests, especially unpopular, which are needed like I don't know, like tiny number of customers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. I don't know. It's so you understand compared to total user base, things like this are just on the next level. Yeah, and also part of this work on web scalability, it's inevitable to get rid of something. I mean, to cut some fat, some old code, and we have already done it partially in December. And I just wanted to promote for another time this updated documentation because I think, Jose, how many webinars we did on this in last half year? Like 3 or 4? I don't know.
Like 8.
Yeah, it
And
was.
that you were present.
Yeah, I mean, about removing .NET Framework, about breaking changes. I think we met like
Yeah, around
four
three or
times
four.
at least. Yeah. And it's still, I remember we take feedback seriously. I remember from you, from your audience, it was feedback about additional documentation, additional tooling, and all to optimize the lives of XF developers to migrate it easier. And we, of course, did it and continue to do. And this is just the article that you can see referenced from breaking changes in support center, from project converter, and from any corner, I would say now. And it's important and just to clarify some points. The project converter 25.2, it can automatically remove some old APIs when, for example, you upgrade your uh, .NET, I don't know, .NET WinForms, .NET 8, .NET 8 WinForms application to the latest major. For example, if you used some modules that we have removed, the project converter is smart enough. Again, thanks God and thanks Roslyn from Microsoft. It's smart enough to cut off or comment out unnecessary code, so your application still compiles. That's comments, links to documentation, migration documentation. What's next? Uh, uh, for example, it's especially important for removed models like pivot chart, KPI, and script recorder. What else? We have invested heavily, our senior developers invested heavily into migrating legacy applications with ancient security system classes, which we like deprecated like almost a decade ago, like in 2016, 17. I'm talking about these ancient classes. Some there are people who still have them, unfortunately, but we made your lives better. For this, you just need to temporarily stay on 25.1, then research our migration documents. We built a special converter for you. we built and validated special guidelines for you. We all check them, like this is a converter. It's available publicly on GitHub. You can see instructions on how to use it. Like it's just a matter of console command and security update and path to your solution, and it will do magic. And we have also uh, invested enormous hours into testing it live because we don't just do things in the air hoping it just works. We always test it. We have internal applications. We have our own legacy applications, and we converted them using these techniques. I mean, so we did that dog fooding, and you can trust me. And yes, sometimes our internal test applications can be not the same as yours, but at least we did our best to cover the most popular scenarios, the most complex points, and again, we rely on your feedback. For example, I want to focus a little bit on this uh, feature legacy. We had this legacy feature toggle. It's about hashing or hashing password passwords. I mean, because we don't store passwords in plain text, obviously, we just have like so-called salt, which is technically a hash using strong algorithms. And we, like 10 years ago, we switched to a more strong algorithm, and now we have many applications and databases with this security information stored, and how to migrate to the new version. I mean, with new algorithm, and we have thought about you. We made it automatic, so our converter migration tool also is capable of updating databases. So yeah, you should definitely try it and can find additional information in these guidelines. And even more to this, because we have uh, quite many XAF web forms users who are stuck on web forms for different reasons, for business reasons, and we also didn't want to let you down with that. I mean, removal of .NET framework, and we also thought about you. Uh, as a result, we have done in December and November, to be precise, we have done two different researches trying to do this ambitious task: how to convert an XAF web forms application to XAF Blazor. Even when I pronounce it, it's like I don't know, it's something from not from Earth, because it's .NET Framework to .NET 8, .NET 10. It's web forms to Blazor. They're not directly compatible, but still, we set this ambitious goal and tried to find what we can do, at least to ease this migration path for customers. We intentionally had separated groups. One tried to do it using AI, because in Visual Studio you have this GitHub Copilot integration with the new modernized command, and Microsoft released it in Visual Studio 2026 last November. We I remember we previously explored it when it was just a separate extension. I'm talking about the modernized command. You can see it here. It's just a familiar icon from Copilot. So one group within XAF team, the most senior developer, the gods of XAF, I would say, they worked on this AI migration. And the second group also folks with the biggest heads, with the biggest birds. They worked on Roslyn. I mean, making this task using analog, I would say, methods like Roslyn. And eventually, we joined our forces when we realized that AI approach is, how to say it politely, it's not quite reliable, I would say, reliable for complex applications. It may be simple for small setups, but for complex projects, like especially when you have multiple projects with dependencies, many business classes, it's not, at least in our experience in this particular migration scenario, I'm not want to generalize here, but for us it didn't work well after many attempts. Uh, we joined for our forces. I mean that we learned what we could from AI because it still was helpful. It was useful. It suggested additional uh, things to consider. I mean, what we forgot, for example, when going using Roslyn path, and then eventually we uh, built a Roslyn-based solution that was inspired by AI. I would say that it's like a hybrid something, but it's now capable of converting, at least making XAF web forms to Blazor conversions for some setups. We are still to publish documentation on this. I mean, exact instructions maybe in coming weeks, maybe next week. But still, we liked how it worked eventually. It showed predictable results in our internal testing applications, and we also that's what we want to share with you guys. Because kind of a problem with AI is that, I mean, AI-based assistants is that it's unpredictable. You can, like, we have a funny case when a guy was happy, was smiling all the day. He did it, like, generated a huge, like, kilobytes of text. I mean, it's hundreds of uh, pages of prompt. Can you imagine? He checked it one day with one model, then some next day one update was released by to the model, maybe I don't know to system. We don't know what is happening behind, and everything was broken. It was stably working on multiple test cases, and it's now not possible to replicate even after a lot of labor. Another funny problem is that even with paid subscriptions, you can at least we could easily reach out of limits because you can imagine that to consider all the migration points cases. At least in our cases, we could go out of 35K tokens easily. Can you imagine? Yeah, but as I said, this is public repository. This is existing documentation, and we are going to publish another update for web forms to Blazor migration scenario, and also to .NET Framework WinForms to .NET 8 plus WinForms XAF scenario, and it's definitely something for you to check out if you haven't yet migrated to the latest 25.2. Yeah, that's the experience I wanted to share with you guys, and as always, looking forward to your feedback, to comments.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to test those solutions as well. So yeah, I think that one of the notes that we have is to actually do a Suffer community meetup where we do a migration live. We take a simple, nothing too crazy web for apps and we move it completely to Suffer. So we have a lot to cover from the security system to all modules to everything in between, but I think that it would be a good exercise for everyone and for the community.
Yeah, it's a quite ambitious goal, I would say. As I said, in our experience, I mean, hello world migrations, they are working fine in marketing videos, but they're not of they are of little use when you go to your computer, sit to a keyboard, when you have this huge application like I remember like Martin was sharing an application, so it's kind of 200 projects, and it's not the biggest one. And when reality hits you hard, it's difficult. So that's why we try to talk food it seriously. I mean, trying to replicate this real world and to, because it's not very useful to see real world applications. You have to do your own things. But it's of course up to you. It will be interesting to learn about your experiences. Again, I don't want to generalize here, and yeah.
Yeah, so I think that like for at least for on our side, so small apps they are being migrated right away of basically rewriting. Just create a new one and just move the files and then just change the things that you need to change. But we have like really big customers with really like legacy apps that they definitely are gonna wait a little bit and they are still gonna stay on web forms at least until they come up a clear plan because it's a lot of effort to actually get and the suffering in the middle. Like as soon as you migrate things that people are used to do a certain way are not working. So a lot of testing involved, but yeah, definitely those migration converter will help a lot everyone trying to achieve this goal. Hey, Dennis, Isa is asking if you have any update on the new performance, scalability, and multi-tenant for the future on the next couple of versions.
Mm, I think I have nothing to add to what I said just during this webinar and during the last webinar. In short, if people missed our previous webinar, we last year we have been focusing on accumulating diagnostic information on what is happening, where bottlenecks are. And we this year we will be all the year not don't expect anything complete in 26.1. All the 2026 and maybe beyond we will be digesting this information and implementing this impacting. If you have specific queries, feedbacks, just contact us in Support Center as always. Yeah.
Well, this has been amazing. I don't know if anyone else have any other question, any other comment, something that they want to add. I personally, I always say there is no better time to be a SAF developer, but definitely there is no better time to be a SAF developer than right now.
Yeah, I just looked into my notes for the webinar. Maybe I will say a few more words about our general Blazor enhancements. It's about Blazor report designer. We just haven't had the chance to complete this work in the last major, so we delayed it. Implement. I mean, it's partially completed, but we didn't push it, didn't promote it much. Just to give you additional context, when you create a report in your XAF Blazor application, it's using collection data source by default, and we worked. In the last month, we worked on making view data source available here because it's more for real, I mean, for complex scenarios when you have a lot of data, so you can just query projection of your data, not entire business objects. And it's again, this work was aligned with what I said about bringing XAF hybrid applications like desktop on Mac, because there we plan to use XF Blazor and we want to have similar capabilities with XF WinForms, and this one of just one of the examples, just to like model editor I demonstrated earlier. What else? We also have a list of usability enhancements for target MTI, I just forgot to mention because they are kind of minor. I mean, just to again to be on par with XF informs, like we have different show view strategies currently for like showing pop-up windows. In XAF, show view strategy component or set of base classes is a piece that is responsible for how your view is opened, whether it's opened in a new tab, whether it's opened as a new pop-up or, I mean, model window or as an embedded window. And so we want to, since we are removing these platform differences between desktop, we want to adjust this behavior a little bit, especially when it goes about working with collection properties. What else? We also have plans to support Entity Framework Core 10 because we intentionally didn't support it in 25.2 just to wait a little bit. As we always do, we try to release this support and like minor is next minor versions around February at March, and then uh, so that people have enough time to test it. It's not a big deal for most of our anti-framework customers, as we learned, and they can stay on AF Core 9 for the time being. Uh, what else? Yeah, I think that's it. Just the rest is just minor stuff. Maybe it's not worth mentioning.
Sure. I could not find my to mute. Uh, yeah, 2026 looking brighter. Coach, anything else to add before if you guys have
Well,
any other question?
so far, no. The only thing I'm looking forward is maybe for having the Electron either example or integration in the template kit. Because I'm looking forward to just do Mac from this year. But let's see how the year develops. But it looks brighter as I can see right now.
Uh, yeah, for Electron, I also maybe I will elaborate why we delayed this, intentionally delayed it a little bit. The story is that for Electron, it's like old library, I would say. I don't know, like
Mhm,
maybe it appeared like 10 or 15 years ago, and currently it's happening like two branches of it. One, I mean, at least NuGet packages. We built an example and integration based on the old branch, but based on GitHub repo, it's not changing much. I mean, it's not evolving
mhm,
much, and we were hesitant to publish anything on that because the last NuGet package update was like a few years ago. It's not something to recommend widely, and that's why we waited a bit, and prefer to wait a bit because we have this new branch, new that is actively developing. You can see it by GitHub repo. The NuGet packages are released often. They're currently on version 0.4 or 5 or something, so it's not yet one, but it's
mhm,
still we already tried it and it experience was much better. So I mean we could get started much easier. We built immediately migrated to it, and for the plan for now is I already have this sample prepared by senior developers, and we will publish it just a GitHub example and see how it goes so everyone can try it. And later, when it's, I think, on stable version 1, we will likely include it in project templates. Again, if it's still needed by customers, by community, and we will be confident. in this solution. That's basically.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. So I also got an email, Hoche, saying that AI is the end of us, and with everything that I'm seeing in the meetup, so the future from now on is like we can develop any idea, any project that you put your mind into it. XAF will give us all the tools and you put the rest. So you can focus on the business
Mhm.
logic, you can focus on the business process. So instead of the AI being the end of it, it's the start of us providing more value, providing more system, coming up with new ideas, new projects. So 2026 is going to be a great year. I know for now. Dennis, as always, thanks a lot. I really enjoy every time that you join us and like walk us through everything that is going on the DevExpress world and specific with XAF. So as always, you're welcome here anytime. And I intentionally, when you join us, just leave our demos for the next one because I think that we want to be the video just straight to the point of what's coming on XAF in 2026. So amazing presentation. Thanks a lot. And that will be all on our sides. Thanks everyone for joining us after so many years, after so many months. So we're still deeply grateful to have you guys here. And we'll see you next month. Anything else, Jose?
No, I think like I'm just glad to be back on the regular schedule of the meetups. Last year was kind of really busy, especially at the end of the year, so we skipped some some of the meetups. So this year we hope to have more than 12, so maybe 15, like in a good year. So let's cross our figure for that.
Yeah, thank you to you for hosting such nice monthly events, for your continued information channel. To everyone, I recommend going to the sites of Hoche and Hosa, checking out what they provide, guidance. Personally, myself, I'm following Hoche's blog, nice hocheagenda.com. I think you can post a link.
Yeah.
He's writing a lot about AI, and I remember I was telling you, I think not the first time that I even myself learned from you some things about AI, especially, and also uh, Jose did a nice webinar fully why AI devoted with Microsoft. So yeah, so it's interesting to learn from you guys, and we appreciate your community feedback, and thank you for joining us as always.
Yeah, and that's the power of the community. We are always learning from the community all the time. And as I always say, I learn for the tickets just from seeing when people are struggling with. So just for see what their solution they came up with, you're seeing what they have. So community has been stronger and growing and really excited to be part of it. Really grateful for it. All right, guys, thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next month. Thanks, Danny. Thanks, Hoche. And Saf out.
Bye. See you.
Cheers.